41 with the Telltale Heart.
True. Nervous. Very, very dreadfully nervous I had been and am. But why will you say that I am mad? The disease had sharpened my senses, not destroyed, not dulled them. Above all was the sense of hearing acute. I heard all things in the heaven and in the earth. I heard many things in hell. How then am I mad? Hearken and observe how healthily, how calmly I can tell you the whole story. It's impossible to say how first the idea entered my brain, but once conceived, it haunted me day and night. I loved the old man. He'd never wronged me. He'd never given me insult. I think it was his eye, the eye of a vulture, a pale blue eye with a film over it. Whenever it fell upon me, my blood ran cold, and so by degrees, very gradually, I made up my mind to take the life of the old man, and thus rid myself of the eye forever. And every night, about midnight, I turned the latch of his door and opened it, oh, so gently. And then, when I had made an opening sufficient for my head, I put in a dark lantern, all closed, that no light shone out, and then I thrust in my head. And then, when my head was well in the room, I undid the lantern cautiously. Oh, so cautiously, for the hinges creaked. And this I did for 7 long nights. Upon the 8th night, I was more than usually cautious in opening the door. Now you may think that I drew back, but no. His room was as black as pitch, with a thick darkness, for the shutters were close fastened through fear of robbers. And so I knew that he could not see the opening of the door, and I kept pushing it on steadily. I kept quite still and said nothing. When I had waited a long time very patiently without hearing him lie down, I resolved to open a very, very little crevice in the lantern. A simple, dim ray, like the thread of the spider, shot from out the crevice and fell full upon the vulture eye. Now, I say, there came to my ears a low, dull, quick sound. I knew that sound well, too. It was the beating of the old man's heart. It grew quicker and quicker, and louder every instant. The old man's terror must have been extreme. I thought the heart must burst, and now a new anxiety seized me. The sound would be heard by a neighbor. The old man's hour had come. With a loud yell, I threw open the lantern and leaped into the room. He shrieked once only. The old man was dead. His eye would trouble me no more. As the bell sounded the hour, there came a knocking at the street door. There entered 3 men who introduced themselves with perfect suavity as officers of the police. A shriek had been heard by a neighbor during the night. But ere long, I felt myself getting pale and wished them gone. My head ached, and I fancied a ringing in my ears. It was a low, dull, quick sound, much such a sound as a watch makes when enveloped in cotton. Oh God, what could I do? I foamed, I raved, I swore, I swung the chair upon which I had been sitting and grated it upon the boards, but the noise arose all over, continually increased. It grew louder. Villains! I shrieked. Dissemble no more, I admit the deed. Tear up the planks. Here. It is the beating of his hideous heart.